You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we're going to talk about Caitlin Clark and more specifically Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, because Sue Bird has come out and, for lack of a better way of putting it, she's gaslighting fans, plain and simple. She's blowing smoke straight up your keister about the narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark. Now, I will say this. I do think Diana Taurasi, she's largely responsible for a lot of this hate I think that Caitlin Clark is getting because she got the ball rolling. Remember Reality Check? And then, of course, Caitlin Clark promptly reality checked Diana Taurasi's dinosaur ass back into the previous century. Or would it be, I don't know, a billion years ago? Wherever you came from, Diana Taurasi, you're gone now, I guess. Point being, Sue Bird sounds like she's trying to cover for her homegirl. And on her podcast, along with the cringe is coming, Megan Rapinoe, she makes these comments. And I guess she thinks that fans, sports fans, look, Sue Bird, let me tell you one thing about the new fans that came in, all right? They weren't WNBA fans. We were fans of things like the NFL, actual real sports, all right? The NFL. I'm not saying it's not real basketball, but at times, this league doesn't seem like it wants to be a serious professional league. Number one, mugging your number one cash cow, the one player that can drag your league into legitimacy, I don't think is probably a great business decision by all these hating-ass females. But that's where we're at. And Sue Bird is trying to, look, she's been very fair about Caitlin Clark most of the year, but this is ridiculous. All right? None of this is fake. We didn't make up, Angel Reese clotheslining Caitlin Clark or Kennedy Carter with the forearm shiver, WWE style. By the way, calling Caitlin Clark a bitch while doing it. And, Diamond DeShields coming across the middle and hitting Caitlin Clark Rod Woodson style like this is 1997. We didn't make any of that up. That's not in our heads, right? Or the Seattle Storm player that shaded her so bad in games. And I'm sorry, but if you guys keep calling that punishment basketball plays, then your league doesn't know basketball, all right? There's physical, and then there's whatever in the hell that is. It looks a lot like assault to a lot of different people. Let's listen.
It started. In some ways, it started with me and Diana in our show getting interviewed by Scott Van Pelt, and Diana having, her response, which if you go back and watch it, and I don't mean to split hairs here, but it is just another moment where things get taken onto social media and they just grow and people spew and it turns into something that you can't even recognize within 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Scott Van Pelt did ask Diana a question about rookies. Now, was Dee talking about Caitlin or not? You have to ask her. If I can get ahead of myself for a second, Diana has been so complimentary of Caitlin since, which to me just really speaks to the issue, which is at times people have been negative towards some of these rookies, right? From a basketball standpoint. They have been critical from a basketball standpoint. And yet those statements have been just blanket statements on how an entire group of people feel. That is what is really, really troubling for me. What you see in men's sports at times, and I'll use examples like Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green, and it's not to call them out in any specific way other than they've had moments with players. And yet when they do something, it's not the entire league hates the player that they happen to have a thing with. All right, so I just want to start with that. So where I've 100% landed is that once Diana's comments went viral, it led to the Twitter trolls and bots taking over. And what started there was this narrative of petty, jealous players hating on Caitlin. Mm-hmm. That's really what happened. That's where it started, that we must just dislike her, that we look at her side-eyed, that we don't want her to come in the WNBA and be successful, that we're hating on her, right?
We didn't cause that narrative. And she's trying, I'm going to tell you, she's trying to blame fans too here. And no, it's on your players to act responsible and act professional on a basketball court. And look, the one thing I'll give about the new fan base that came in, they will check every one of their hating asses every single time something happens. It's called trying to make you take responsibility for your actions, or at least trying to make the WNBA take responsibility for their players' actions, and their own commissioner doesn't have the guts to do it. I've said, when is Adam Silver going to get involved? Because there's an opportunity here for this league to actually make a lot of money and become legit, and until they open their eyes and realize the one player that's the hybrid love child of Steph Curry and Larry Bird with the branding of Jordan, until you realize that that player is getting unjustly crushed out there, day in, day out, game in, game out, this league's never going to be serious. It's not. I mean, come on. So, here we go. Like Sue Bird, but she is not being 100% factual. Exactly. The Diamond DeShields play, the Kennedy Carter play, and that poke in the eye, I didn't even bring up Dejanay Carrington, were not basketball plays that everyone has dealt with. That is a fact. And you can't bring up Draymond Green because Draymond's not going around targeting one particular player. This isn't a good take on the reality of the situation. I don't understand why the WNBA community favors to gaslight the basketball community like we don't see Caitlin Clark being targeted. Saying it's all in your head with a soft voice doesn't make it a better cover-up, Sue Bird. I mean, honestly, she's, and in part, I think she's trying to get Diana Taurasi out of some shit. Nah, we're not going to do that. This guy says, did she address what Gino said? Yeah, he fed a lot into the narrative, too. I like this take right here. The WNBA is an unpopular league because it's a dirty league. Not physical, dirty. The shit needs to be cleaned up. Why? There isn't enough talent in the league to be a dirty league. So we're spot on here. I mean, literally, spot on. The NBA figured it out 35 years ago, but we're supposed to accept more dirty violence in women's ball than men? None of it makes sense. And nobody wants to see that. That's the other thing. It becomes a very unpleasing to the eye kind of product real fast. I mean, honestly, more gaslighting, when will it end? I mean, this guy says, look, Bird's not going to call out these players that she knows in the WNBA. Yeah, but until somebody does, then you're just part of the problem. Women's sports has too many activists and not enough normal competitors who make the game fun other than Caitlin Clark. That's right as well. People just want to watch basketball, and the whole league is ate up with activism. Diana was the one hating, then Swoops jumped in, and so on. I didn't even bring up Cheryl Swoops. But that person's right. I mean, it's ridiculous. And like I said, Sue Bird has not hated on Caitlin Clark at all this year. But she's full of it. I mean, they are literally not, they surely cannot not know what's going on in this league. They're trying to blow smoke up all the fans' butts, and we're witnessing it. We are witness. I mean, we're not making it up. I didn't run out on the court and give Caitlin Clark a damn clothesline. I didn't give her a Stan Hansen, a Barry Windham from 1987. Adam Page. I didn't do that. That wasn't my flying lariat in the Chicago Sky game. I don't get it. It's crazy. Even worse, they got new fans in, and they're treating the new fans like they're stupid and don't have a basketball IQ. I don't want to hear that shit. I've been watching basketball since I was 6. I'm 50 years old nearly. I mean, God, I came up through the bad boy Pistons and the Bulls and the Pacers, Knicks, Hornets, those were wars. And those still aren't as bad as the crap that they allow to go on in this league. Again, they're not trying to be serious. And they need to be serious because they were a floundering, failing league. And if Caitlin Clark gets hurt and is lost, it'll be that again, quick. Just look at the ratings and attendance now that she's out of the playoffs. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.